Hello, denizens of the internet. This is a camera report, specifically the 1.3 firmware update for my Lumix G9. So the reason I'm doing this is that I wanted to find out whether it updated the autofocusing of the camera. Although I don't use it very much, I don't have any problems with it based on the way I use the camera, but it's the biggest complaint that everybody has with the Lumix line of cameras is their autofocusing system or lack thereof. So I've got a test with the 1.3 update using my main workhorse lens, my 12 to 60 Leica zoom lens, which I absolutely adore. And one of the things that you learn about using the Leica cameras is that there's just some lenses that focus very well, like this one, and autofocus well, and then other ones that really aren't suitable for autofocusing video, at least. Not bad for stills, but not particularly appropriate for videos. So there's going to be two parts to this video. One, I'm going to show you how the firmware affected my camera, and number two is I'm going to talk about maybe my favorite feature about the G9. So here you go, firmware update focus test first.
Okay, here we have the focus test. I'm using my golfing voice here, golf announcer voice. Zoom in on that little piece of glass. That worked out nicely. Nice out of focus background. Zoom in on this plant. Now, I've got it in face and eye detect, and when the camera is not detecting a face or an eye, then it uses the 225 focus points. And that's working nicely. No, not a lot of hunting there. No, that's very nice. Okay, so part one of this test, very, very good. So let's do the traditional vlogging setup. Wide open. Oh, there's Ivy. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, so now I'm focusing on this piece of rock, and it is working really, really well. It's not even pulsing in the background as far as I can see. Clearly, the face and eye detect thinks that this is my face, most likely because of the quality of the skin there. That's exactly how I look. That's what my skin looks like. Okay, so why don't I try the real me, not just this rock. Let's see how it focuses on a real person. So that's been pretty impressive so far. I'm walking by some of Ivy's poo, but I didn't point it out because I am a gentleman. And now I'm walking close to the camera. I can see all sorts of yellow rectangles zooming around my head, trying to detect my face. And curiously enough, the camera is doing a worse job detecting my face than that rock. That is a bit disappointing. So let's see what happens now. Pop up. Oh, no, now it likes it. Okay, not so bad. But you can see it's pulsing at the back, which drives me nuts. It can be focused in the foreground, but the Panasonic still pulses in the back. I wish they'd fix that.
Welcome back. Okay, so that's the end of part one, the 1.3 firmware update. Part two, I'm going to talk about maybe one of my favorite features of the G9. I'm not entirely certain that this capability is not available to other cameras. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments, but here it is. I can set my camera up from here. So here we are at the back of the camera. One of the favorite things I like about my G9, and one of the reasons that I moved from the G85 to the G9, was that I can easily manage this camera from the back. I can approach this camera from the rear. Oh, stop it, you dirty-minded people. So for instance, the first thing I'm going to do is set the white balance. So there we are there, and I'm just going to go to my custom white balance setting there, and then click on select white balance. Of course, the brilliant touch screen is a feature of the Panasonic setup. So there it is. So the white balance is done. And I will record the chip chart any second now. The other things that I'm going to want to do is zoom in and focus. So right now I'm in automatic focus, but very easily I can just flip that to manual focus. Again, that's a feature of this particular lens, not specific to the camera itself. but I love that. So because this is a parfocal lens, I can focus while it's zoomed in, exit, and then it is completely in focus throughout the entire range. So that's really, really convenient. The other thing I can do here is set my ISO, again, just by clicking in the front. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to fiddle around going to the back. Those little bits and pieces are evidently available very quickly. On the G85, I mean, I had to hunt around at the back, and I could kind of remember it, but the buttons all kind of felt the same. So I can set my ISO, which I've already done, and then if I'm in automatic mode, then I can even do some other EV exposure adjustments here. Again, everything from the front. Now, if I record some video right now, I am recording, and it's such a marvelous job I'm doing here. Then I'm going to stop, and I can take a look at what I've recorded just by clicking the playback button right there, and I can watch and see what kind of a brilliant take I've done. So this is something absolutely no one has talked about, and that is how it is so easy to make adjustments to your color, to your settings, everything just from the front. And of course, there's the brilliant and marvelous touchscreen that the Panasonic Lumix is famous for, and I can easily get to that just by clicking there, bang. And once I'm in the menuing section, I can go in here and change any kind of features or aspect that I want. I can change my color, do anything. So between the brilliant touchscreen and the fact that you've got these hard-coded buttons that I can click on, this is one of the favorite things about this camera, and that's why I got it, and that's why I'm not going to get rid of it, is the fact that I can touch it on the rear and do stuff. Have I got into trouble again? Thank you very much for watching. If you have any other comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because you will never know what will be on this channel unless you subscribe. Talk to you later. So long, denizens of the internet.